We start with Part 8 of Federalist 7. The procrastination of the former would excite the resentments of the latter. The settlements of a rule would, in the meantime, be postponed by real differences of opinion and affected delays. The citizens of the states interested would clamor, foreign powers would urge for the satisfaction of their just demands, and the peace of the states would be hazarded to the double contingency of external invasion and internal contention. So he says, not only we'll have one state or two states that need to get their money back from the other states. They will be upset if these other states don't pay the money they owe back. But also, you'll have those foreign creditors that had given us a lot of money during the Revolutionary War. If you don't give their money back, then they will plan and plot to get it back from you any way they can by creating animosity between you, even by trying to get it by force. So you'll have two bad things going at the same time. You'll have internal problems amongst the states, and you'll have foreign countries that are trying to disunite you, tear you to pieces, make you weak, because you did not live up to your end of the bargain, and they would want you weak, they would want you not to prosper, because they think you backstabbed them, and they will never give you credit again. So I'll continue with a new paragraph. Suppose the difficulties of agreeing upon a rule surmounted and the apportionment made. Still there is great room to suppose that the rule agreed upon would, upon experiment, be found to bear harder on some states than upon others. Those which were sufferers by it would naturally seek for a mitigation of the burden. The others would as naturally be disinclined to a revision, which was likely to end in an increase of their own encumbrances. Their refusal would be too plausible a pretext to the complaining states to withhold their contributions, not to be impraised with avidity, and the non-compliance of these states with their engagements would be a ground of bitter dissensions and altercations. So he says, let's even assume that everybody said, okay, we're going to pay a part of the debt. Let's say even at the beginning they won't fight about it. But in 6 months, let's say, 1 or 2 or 3 of the states find out that it is too heavy of a burden for them to pay the debt that they agreed to pay. Then they'll start slacking off. They'll start not paying. They'll be late on making payments. And that would make the states that they're paying on time, and sometimes they already feel like they're paying too much and they shouldn't pay that much, they start changing their mind. They say, well, if they don't pay theirs, why should we pay ours? Doesn't make sense. And he says, before you know it, again, you're going to see animosity between these states. They will make the wrong decision again, and that would not be good. If even the rule adopted should in practice justify the equality of its principle, still delinquencies in payment, means late payment, making payments late, making late payments on the part of some of the states would result from a diversity of other causes. The real deficiency of resources, the mismanagement of their finance, accidental disorders in administration of government, and in addition to the rest, the reluctance with which men commonly part with money for purposes that have outlived the exigencies which produce them and interfere with supply of their immediate wants. Delinquencies from whatever causes would be productive of complaints, recriminations, and quarrels. There's perhaps nothing more likely to disturb the tranquility of nations than their being bound to mutual contributions for any common object that does not yield equal and coincident benefit. For it is an observation as true as it is trite that there is nothing men differ so readily about as the payment of money. It says when it comes to payment of money, this is trite. It's just a dull subject because we should know about it. Most people, if they feel like they have to pay a little bit more than somebody else, they have to pay more than their share, they don't like it. Okay? He says over here in the beginning, says, look, let's say they all agreed to make their payments. Now what if just one state, because they don't have the resources, they really don't have the money to pay. It's not that they don't want to pay, but they don't have the money to pay. And it could happen for multiple reasons. Maybe their resources have run out. Maybe there's been mismanagement. Maybe there's been an emergency. He says all these things might happen, and then the other states are going to turn around and say, okay, why don't they pay? Why did they mismanage their money? Why should we pay? So again, this thing goes in circles. They keep on arguing, and that leads to more arguments, that leads to possibly war. So, and it also says, remember that a lot of human beings don't remember it as well as they should, that when they borrow money in emergency, an emergency has passed, when it comes to paying it off, paying it back, they don't have that desire to be on time or think about it as seriously as they did one time when they were desperate about it. So he says, remember, all of these are going to cause problems for us. If we don't unite, there will be multiple reasons for us to find ways to become enemies and destroy our future instead of uniting and going westward, having plenty of land, and being strong in the face of other powers that might invade us. We will be weak, and foreign nations will take advantage of us.